Let's talk about big idea, a real game changer. High performance isn't about grinding harder. It's not about putting more hours. It's about applying your effort in more directive way. It's not about volume. It's all about vector. You know that feeling, right? You put in a long hours, constantly busy. Your calendar is just packed. But in the end of the week, what did I actually get done? This feeling, this trap, has a name. It's a busy fool syndrome, and it's come from the huge misunderstanding about how it actually works. So, what exactly is this trap? So, core believe that effort is just a number, that more hours automatically equal to that result. But it is about to see that is a dangerously false equation. And this is where a little bit high score physics is a much better model. The scalar thing is only about magnitude, just asking how much. It's saying I work for 10 hours. Okay, great. It's a number, but it tells you nothing about your progress. Vector thinking on the other hand combines that magnitude with the direction. It asks for how much and what direction. And at a tiny shift in thinking, that's the difference between burnout and a breakthrough. I mean, if your destination in south, going north at world record speed only gets you further from the goal faster. For alright, it's a hard work. Actually, it's making things worse. Okay, the talk is changed, right? If direction is really that important, it should be able to prove it. So let's look some really fascinating data that fixed it the mindset each other. Look at this, it's a perfect real world example. One student uses a scalar approach, 10 long hours, feels productive and highlighting the text and busy and get easily 29% of retention. But another student uses a vector approach, more difficult but highly directed technique called active recall for just 5 hours. Result 57% of the retention. It doubles the result and half the time. Is this a magic? It's a physics. It's a smart work, not just a hard work. Okay, so all are bored now. But how do you actually do it? The solution is a framework, essential forces that all work together. This is a very really crucial part. These forces are multiplicative. If any single component is missing, if it's zero, entire output will become zero. All has to be in play. Here they are. First one is a leverage, the force multiplier. And second one is a direction, direct the highest impact task. And third one is the feedback, the cursor corrector. Let's break this down. First one, the direction. The Pareto principle. The Pareto principle. It says in the most thing, 80% of results come from the just 20% of your effort. Lars thinks that it's every task it's equally important. Actor thinker on the other hand is the finding another 20% of effort. Putting all the energy right there. Is the feedback, the course corrector. Now understand just how powerful it is. A very common and a very wrong belief for this million time, right? I'm here to tell you it's not true. The reality is tactics just make your habit permanent. Think about it. Did you practice the bad golf swing for 10 years? I'm a perfect in swinging a bad golf swing. Repetition without any feedback just digs that same mistakes but deeper and deeper. How do you practice the right way? Use a feedback loop. The Udo loop is a fantastic model loop to observe the results and yourself based on the your information. You decide the course correction. Only then do you act again. Most people just stuck on act, finding a way. High performance live in the entire loop, constantly adjusting. Alright, the another theory, Trinity in action. It is in a look like a practice. Apply Trinity in few real world examples. First of all, let's think about the content creator. Maybe someone on YouTube, they can approach work from two totally different mind. One focus on their volume, the grinder thinks about their success on their volume. They upload every new video on a single day. The leverage creator known their thumbnail and the title. That is 20% of the effort, 80% of the views. One little piece of the packaging. Multiply the hard work of the video All hard work get itself. Focus on the highest leverage point. Okay, and what about some technical field? Believe me, the same principle will apply. We all done it. Passively watching the tutorials on it for hours. But that work, that the knowledge doesn't that stick. Vector approach actually build that something. Compiler will give you mid-hours feedback. That's a voodoo loop that right there. Using AI tools to handle being repetitive code, it's a pure leverage. Up your brain power to solve their problems. And finally, where we started, student who trying to learn effectively. You see, highlighting these text and rereading the notes, it's the false sense of the familiarity. What psychologists call recognition. That's a grind. The leverage vector-based approach, active recall. It's harder. It actually forces your brain to retrieve the information. The struggle that is the learning. Easy studying is almost useless. When we put this together, it requires just fundamentally rejected the old model. How think we modules created in first place. Our society often the labor theory of the value, but in the modern world, knowledge work software, content, inputs and outputs of the computer completely decoupled, suffering in a grinding way, valuable result anymore. So here it is, ultimate takeaway. High performance is not about doing more. It's not about more hour or more hustle. It's about the intelligent geometric application of a leverage, direction and feedback. They multiply each other. The outcome that way bigger than the sum of parts. So I leave you with this question. Forget trying to do more. Instead, why you like a thing, physicist? What's the one single high leverage point you can apply focus, effort this week to fundamentally change your trajectory? Find that vector and you will find your breakthrough.